have stage fright.
I know. I think because we're just talking about listening to ourselves, so it kind of threw me off because I'm like overthinking how I sound.
Right.
Well,
as you know, this is where we go to talk about all things spooky. Sent you a little photo the other day. What did you think of that?
I don't know. I shouldn't laugh, but I mean, it was creepy because she's got no face.
Exactly. So one of my friends has sent me a photo that he took the other day, and we'll upload it on the Instagram so you can go look at it and tell us what you think of it, because to me, it's a little girl standing in a doorway.
But I have a couple questions because I don't know what's on her feet.
I know, it looks like she's got boxes on her feet or something.
I think I said it's like a concrete block or something. I was
That's what I think. Like, to me, it looks like they've made a statue out of it. Yeah. But they went back. So that was 3:00 in the morning in the Adelaide Parklands. They saw her, took the photo, went back to the house the next day because they're like, why is there a child? Obviously, they went up to the gate and everything at the night because they're like, why is there this kid out here? Couldn't find the kid anywhere. 3 of them saw it. So it's not like one person saw it and thought maybe it was there.
Well, you have a photo.
yeah, exactly. Went the next day and knocked on the door to ask the couple if they have a kid staying or whatever. And it was an elderly couple, and they were like, no children here. None of our neighbours have got kids. There's no explanation for this photo.
It does look like a, spirit or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like there's an even more faded spirit behind them. I feel like there's a face right above the left of her.
Well, it was funny that you said that, because now the guy who took the photo, he's seeing faces everywhere.
Oh, really?
Yep. So he's not seeing whole bodies. Yeah, he's just seeing faces everywhere. Yeah. So that's messing with him a little bit. I've looked and and blown it up and looked at it every which way possible to try and debunk it. But to me, that's a little girl in a white dress.
The more I stare at it, the more faces I see, and it's freaking me out.
And you can see the shadows from the gate. Oh no, that's the part that gets me.
It's kind of like she's walking through the gate.
Yeah. Because it's so hard to see, because it's like...
I'm confused what side of the gate she's on now. Right. It's one of those optical illusion.
Because you look at it and you think she's behind it, you look at it and you think she's in front of it.
Because of the shadows, that's what threw me off. The gate's behind her.
Almost like static, where her face would be.
Yeah.
But it's angelic at the same time. It doesn't look scary to me. Jump in there and tell us what you think. Do you think it's a light anomaly? Do you think it's shadows? I don't know. It looks pretty legit to me, but obviously I wasn't there, so I can't confirm. But it looks pretty legit to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, go have a look and tell us what you think.
It's creepy.
Yeah. Either way, even if it is just like a trick of the light or something, it's still...
There's no way to explain that.
Clearly, to me, it's clearly a dress. There's arms down by her side. There's legs.
An angry little child.
Yeah. It's...
Creepy little girl. That's one thing that I hate in horror movies.
Yep.
Is creepy little children.
Yep. That's what I say to everyone. I'm like, I'm not dealing with that. If there's a creepy child, a child ghost, a child anything, I'm out. Oh, but talking of scary things, that leads us into today's episode. Nice little segue. See what I did there?
Yeah. I just imagine the segue.
Like an actual segue.
Yeah.
You know what would be hilarious? What? Watching me try and ride one of those. I would break something.
Same.
I trip over and people are like, you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. Just about your business.
Just go about your business.
That's it.
Side quest. I'm calling them side quests. Every time we go off on a tangent that literally has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
It's a side quest.
It's a side quest.
Yeah, it's funny sitting there sometimes and thinking people are listening to us. And then I think, oh my God, they're listening to the shit that I ramble. Yep. So, today's episode.
What have you got for us?
I have a story about I guess, somewhat a witch trial from the Barossa. So, not far away.
Keeping it pretty local lately.
Yeah. I love doing the SA stuff. It's interesting.
It is really interesting.
Yeah.
Because thinking that Adelaide's, this safe, quiet little, or SA as a whole, sorry.
Yeah.
Is this safe? Well, it is safe.
But then you start deep diving, you're like, wow.
Yeah. You're like, that happened literally 2 suburbs down, bro.
That's it. That was 5-minute drive down the highway.
Is that where they have the lavender farm?
Yes. Yep.
I want to go there because it looks so pretty. But what the hell? That's where this is about?
Yep.
What?
Yep. So this is Lyndoch and Bethany. So Bethany is sort of like the next one up from Lyndoch.
Yep. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So this story is about Johann Gottfried Hoffmann and his next door neighbour.
Mm-hmm.
So born in Germany in 1826, Johann Gottfried Hoffmann, who we'll call Gottfried through the rest of the story, migrated to...
Why? I like Johann.
You don't mess with him. You don't mess with the Johann.
Is that what you're thinking of? I'm glad I asked.
And you'll see why.
Yes.
As we talk through this. Now that was the perfect segue.
Yes.
So, born in 1826, Johann Gottfried Hoffmann, who we'll refer to as Gottfried for the rest of the story, migrated to the booming German-settled Barossa region of South Australia, Lyndoch to be exact. Johann Gottfried Hoffmann would go on to marry Henriette Dorothea Raschke, and they would have 5 children, 3 sons and 2 daughters. The first of which would be also Johann. So then, their first son was also Johann. Johann August Hoffmann, born in May to a 27-year-old Gottfried and a 24-year-old Henriette. So I feel like at the time they were probably pretty late in age to have kids.
Yeah, definitely. Especially for, I guess, foreign...
And that was their first child at 27 and 24.
Yeah, that's very young for them. Though.
Yeah. And then...
in that era.
And then to have 5 in total. So they would have had kids in their 30s.
Wow.
I feel like that would have been unheard of back then.
That would have been a pretty... Was it like a pretty big age range?
I didn't look too much into them.
Into their children?
Yeah, there would have been a decent gap considering what happens.
Oh yeah, because he went and would have done all that hard.
Yeah.
Oh, I was about to give it away.
Spoiler alert.
Sorry.
So the Hoffmanns of Lyndoch were a very well-known family. They regularly attended services at the nearby Lutheran Bethany Church.
So they're quite religious.
Yeah, okay. And very well known for being decent people.
Yeah.
So a lot
Obviously
of
went to church on Sundays.
Yeah, that's it, because apparently that's all you need to do to be a good person.
Yeah.
So in late October 1853, the Hoffmann farm, while once thriving, seemed to have fallen on darker times. So many of the Hoffmann's livestock, consisting of cattle and pigs, seemingly without reason, suddenly became very sick, with many heads of the cattle perishing. The once thriving farm was now in dire straits. There could only be one reason: bloody witches.
Bloody witches. Because it would have been just him and his wife and I guess the kids.
Yeah, so
he had one at the time?
Yep, and his brother also lived with them at the time.
That's still not many people to maintain such a large farm.
I did try and find how big the farm was, or how many acres it was, but I couldn't find much on the...
Well, you'd think having cattle and pigs and that, you'd have quite a large farm. It would still be a lot of work.
Yeah, exactly. So in November, the Hoffmanns got a gentle knock on the door of their farmhouse. It was their neighbour's 8-year-old daughter, Mary. Mary asked for some butter, and the Hoffmanns obliged, and Mary was free to be on her way. But not before Mrs. Hoffmann asked if Mary could request for her mother to attend the Hoffmann farm as soon as she was free to do so. So Mary headed home with the butter and asked her mum to pop over and visit the neighbours.
What do you want?
So a few hours later, once all the chores were done, Mrs. Mary Ann Russell, so we've got mum and daughter who are both Mary.
The Marys?
Yep. So they'll be Mary and young Mary, just to...
Young Mary
to
and then Mary.
Determine who's who.
Okay.
So Mrs. Mary Ann Russell made her way to the Hoffmann farm. Obviously, not thinking anything was wrong, not having any reason to not go there.
Why else would you go there? By yourself?
They'd just given her butter.
Yeah.
So everything's got to be fine, right? So once she got there, she knocked on the door and was immediately met by a very hostile Mrs. Hoffmann, who was accusing Mary of witchcraft and of cursing their farm with a hex against the animals.
What?
So Mary, of course, denied all these accusations. I mean, she's just a farmer's wife. How could she do magic? She couldn't hex things. And while she was arguing back with Mrs. Hoffmann about the fact that she wasn't actually a witch, Mr. Hoffmann came around the corner. So Mary's taken that as a chance to break the hostility outstretched her hand to shake hands with Gottfried and hoped that, he would see some reason and,
hello.
That's it. Hi, I'm here.
Sorry
you asked for me. I'm here.
Sorry.
So in an instant, Gottfried grabbed Mary's hand as if to shake it in return, but instead slashed her arm with a large knife.
What the?
So we've gone from, hey, can I borrow some butter to, hey, I'm going to stab you.
Yeah, that's pretty hostile.
Right? He then rubbed his hands in her blood and shouted, mine cows right now.
What? Like smeared it?
Yep. Yeah. So rubbed his hands in the blood from her wound and like rubbed it all the blood into his hands.
That's a little weird.
Right? But she's the witch.
Yes. So he's doing spells and whatever.
Yeah. And Mary's the bloody witch. So Mary screamed in pain, of course, asking Gottfried what she had done, and in response he stabbed her a second time in the forearm.
Like,
yeah, so he must have, I don't know,
obviously
maybe
can't see what I'm doing. I did like a little downwards
like a scream stab.
Yeah. Is he still holding her hand as he's doing this?
I wonder if he's...
to keep her close, I guess.
Yeah.
That's what I'm imagining.
Yeah.
And then he's just...
yeah, like he's still got hold of her arm and then he's... yeah. And yelling about his damn cows. So Mary obviously would fight to try and get free and was stabbed a further 2 times in the struggle. She fell to the floor and then was beaten bloody with a stick before being struck in the head with a large rock, and Gottfried would then walk away and leave her there.
So like the rock, I can understand that being there. Stick? What kind of stick?
Yeah.
Where
did the stick come from? Yep. Exactly.
So, not saying she's lying. I just want to know.
Yeah. So
I just pick on details.
Despite all of her injuries, Marianne managed to get away and drag and stumble her way from the Hoffman's property back to her own. So as she staggered towards her house, she looked back to see Mr. Hoffman following her with his shotgun in hand.
What? That's a little creepy as well. This guy is just sending all sorts of creepy signals.
Exactly. Now, everything that I looked up, I couldn't find out what had happened with the gun. So I'm assuming he might have just followed her off of the property holding the gun.
Just making sure she was going to actually leave.
Yeah. Because nothing said that he shot at her or attacked her with the gun or followed her home.
Like that. Yeah. That's still crazy. So she's just been stabbed multiple times.
Yep.
So she's probably bleeding out.
Yep.
She's been beaten
with a stick. Yep.
Hit with the rock.
Yep.
And then she'd be like practically crawling home and then to turn around and see him.
He's just strolling behind her with a shotgun.
I just imagine a long dirt road.
Yep. And you've got that full like Wolf Creek.
Yes.
John Jarrett
it's
holding
probably like
shotgun
a little like barbed wire fence. You're like struggling, got nothing to lean on. Would that have been that era of the big poofy dresses?
Yeah, I reckon it would have been 1820s.
Sweat. Oh, that probably held her together, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy to imagine.
And you think how heavy that would be at the best of times, let alone when it's soaked in blood.
Yeah, because they'd have those like hoops and shit in it as well. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, I'm not sure how full on like farm dresses would have been, but they still would have had all of those layers of bloomers, and they would have still had hoops, just not as full on as like if you're going out to
fancy, with the big butt.
Yeah, but there still would have been some element of that in there.
Yeah.
So Mary would make her way home, and young Mary would look up from the garden and see her mother arriving home beaten and broken and very hysterical.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
Yeah. So young Mary ran and alerted her father. So Mr. Russell would call for Dr. Knotts from Gawler to attend their home, where when he arrived, he found Mary Ann beaten, covered in blood, and with multiple stab wounds, one of which was approximately 1.5 inches long and down to the bone in her forearm.
That's crazy. So you said Gawler, and I just totally forgot that we were talking about some place that's so close to where we are right now.
Right. So I would assume that it was the first stab that would have done that, because that would have been he's got hold of her hand, and if he has gone at it like Scream style, a further 2 more shallow stabbing wounds on her shoulder and many bruises throughout her body, consistent with being beaten with a stick.
That's crazy.
So according to the doctor, everything that Marianne has said has happened, because he can see it's visible.
Yeah.
So then 28-year-old Johann Gottfried Hoffmann was soon after arrested and charged with felonious cutting, maiming, and otherwise assaulting. Felonious.
Sorry, that word just every time you say that.
It sounds fancy.
But also, like, it has a double meaning. I don't know. For like...
Yeah. It doesn't sound, to me, it doesn't sound like a nasty word.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to a felonious tea party.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't feel like it should be in a sentencing.
Exactly, in a crime.
Sorry, I'll get you to read that again because I cut you off, I think, laughing about the word felonious.
Felonious?
Yes.
So 28-year-old Johann Gottfried Hoffmann was soon after arrested and charged with felonious cutting, maiming, and otherwise assaulting Mrs. Ressel.
Maiming and assaulting. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Marianne would survive her injuries and would be able to speak on her own behalf in court.
Mm-hmm.
So as I'm sure you could imagine, her version of events varied greatly to the versions told by Gottfried's wife and his brother. So Hoffmann's lawyer, Mr. Atkinson, called Gottfried's brother Heinrich Hoffmann to the stand as a witness to the day's events. Heinrich testified that he lived with his brother and sister-in-law and was present on the day. He said that on the 5th of November, it was in fact Mrs. Ressel, who was the aggressor, attending the Hoffmann farm with a stick in hand, and she began the altercation with Mrs. Hoffmann. He says he then went to the rear of the house, and when he returned, the two women had come out of the house, both with sticks.
Where are all these sticks coming
right? And proceeded to hit each other. He swore at no time did Gottfried interfere with the altercation.
Right, okay.
He was thoroughly cross-examined by the Crown Solicitor, and despite appearing quite confused in his statements, he maintained that at no point did he see any blood on his brother or either woman.
So she just, stabbed herself?
That was basically their defense, that they went home and said that she did the injuries to herself.
In the back.
To make them look bad.
Wow. This isn't Billy and Stu. They're not just like in the kitchen, just a little like, make it look good. Don't get me here.
Can't be too deep, man. I'm feeling a little woozy here.
I love that movie.
Can you imagine that how would they say that in 1853? Thou is feeling slight woos.
That I think is pretty spot on.
That is how I'm going to explain everything anytime I'm feeling lightheaded now.
A slight little woos.
Thou is feeling slight woos.
That's good.
So many locals came to Hoffmann's aid and testified for his character in court, saying that he was
not
polite.
A great farmer, obviously.
Yeah. He was great as long as you didn't leave him to raise your cows.
Yeah.
Describing him as polite, kind, sober, and humane, and stated that they believed he was incapable of doing what he was charged with. So that came from another local...
People say that about, like, serial killers. Oh, I've never seen that coming.
Yep.
That was such a gentle soul.
Okay. That's exactly right. And things are, if you think someone's nasty, aggressive, and a danger, you're not just going to casually rock up to their doorstep, are you?
Exactly.
Like, you're going to rock up to the doorstep of someone that you feel safe with.
Yeah.
And that's when you get attacked.
Yeah.
Fortunately, though, for the Ressel family, the evidence spoke for itself, and the jury found Gottfried guilty of assault with intent to do bodily harm after deliberating for mere minutes.
So that believed her.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, even though he had more witnesses and whatever, but obviously they're going to be on his side.
Exactly.
His wife, brother.
And at the time, too, you've got this big farming man and probably a dainty little woman. They're always going to see the man as the aggressor in that era.
In that era as well.
Yeah.
Even though he was, like, doing the witch card and whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like it was more, they would have more looked at him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're not going to think that a woman would go and start an altercation like that.
Yeah.
The judge then sentenced him to 5 years hard labour, declaring that the use of knives in quarrels would always be visited with the severest of punishments. So prior to this, it wasn't exactly illegal to use a knife in a fight. It was, if you had to defend yourself and you had a knife, that's fine.
That's fine.
So this is sort of where things started to change.
Yeah. But hard labour. So that would, I literally imagine what they show in American movies.
Yeah.
Where they're in like the jumpsuits. They've got that.
Yeah.
I was going to say hammer and chisel. I don't know, hammer and chisel.
But probably to an extent it would have been, yeah. He would have been
just like throwing that.
Breaking rocks and laying railway lines. Yeah. And
that's what I'm imagining is hard labour.
Yeah, that's the sort of work they would have been doing.
He's probably laid pieces of the rail track that we've got across Australia.
Exactly. We've probably travelled on roads and train lines that
that he's worked
Gottfried
on.
Hoffman had laid.
Well, thanks, Godfrey.
Cheers, bud. So, although he denied the events of the day, Gottfried never denied that he believed Marianne was a witch and had most definitely hexed the animals on the farm.
But you know what? That was also partly the religious side as well.
Yep.
They would have heavily been like, this woman that's like,
yep,
working into. I know he had like the wife and whatever, but I don't know.
And even though there wasn't a huge witchy presence in in South Australia, like it wasn't like it was in Salem.
Mm-hmm.
This family's from Germany, where witches were renowned, and it was a huge thing for them. And because the Barossa was settled so heavily by Germans, there was a lot of witchcraft that came to the Barossa.
Yeah.
So him thinking she was a witch isn't that outlandish.
Yeah.
He openly admitted that he believed washing his hands in her blood would cure his family of this curse placed on him by Marianne.
So he just admitted that he...
Yep. Even though his brother stood
and said there was no blood
on him.
And that he did not touch her.
Yep.
Right, you just shot yourself in the foot, mate.
Yep, exactly. So it was never made clear where the notion that she was a witch came from. Was it German law, a wives' tale, or simply a delusion of a desperate man? I think it's probably a combination of all three.
Yeah.
He was losing his farm. He would have been desperate, panicky, not knowing what was going wrong.
Grasping at straws, trying to save his farm.
Yeah. And obviously being new to Australia too, it could have been a drought. It could have been a bad year. It could have been bad soil, things that he wouldn't have experienced in Germany.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And so suddenly things go wrong. He's doing everything the same as normal and things go wrong. Has to be a witch.
And probably laws and things are a lot different.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they just go around killing and whatever, but...
But I wonder what had happened prior to this to make him think that Marianne would have a reason to hex him.
Yeah, like were they just neighbours that just hated each other?
Or was she just quarreling? A woman, so it had to be her?
Yeah, she just happened to be next door neighbour. Wrong place, wrong time kind of thing.
I think, it was probably a bit of that. He just needed someone to blame and she was closest.
Yeah. So obviously can't blame his wife.
Exactly.
Because why would she hex her own cattle?
Yep. So wherever the idea came from, Gottfried had full faith in his belief and very deliberately set out to free his animals from his neighbour's bewitching.
Mm-hmm.
So the Perth Inquirer posted about the event on March the 8th, 1854. So this is almost 6 months later.
Mm-hmm.
The story had reached Perth. So it's going to sound a little bit crazy, but I'm going to read it exactly how it was written.
Okay.
So it may seem strange in the year of our Lord, 1853, in an age of railroads and steamboats and electric telegraphs and cheap literature, and in a civilized country, such a thing as a belief in witchcraft should exist, and still more strange that anyone could be so miserably ignorant as to believe in the efficacy of so a ridiculous cure. It is well, however, that if such ignorance does exist, the fact of its existence should become known, and we are often indebted to the course of justice for revealing symptoms of disorder in the body politic which otherwise would not be believed in. So, apparently they did not believe in commas or full stops back then, because that was bloody hard to read.
Take a breath, woman.
And B, I feel like that's almost starting to touch on mental health.
Yeah.
Because it seems like, hey, he believes this. This is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to be aware that there's people out there who think this way.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's probably very, very early stages of mental health coming into things.
Interplay of crime and...
Yep.
Yeah.
So I wasn't able to find any information on Marianne after this event, but obviously I hope she went on to live a peaceful life and had no long-term issues from her injuries. So Gottfried served his 5 years hard labour, came out and had 4 more children with his wife.
Which is crazy because that hard labour would have been hard labour.
You know what? Absolutely.
Have a shot.
So
that one's warranted.
So then, we were talking before about his kids and how they'd actually had them so late in life.
Mm-hmm.
If he was 27 and then did 5 years hard labour, he would have been 32.
How long would that trial process have been as well?
Yeah. Yep. So he would have been in his 30s before they had the other 4 kids.
Yeah.
Which I feel was crazy back then.
Which, males maybe not so much as crazy.
True.
But even the females, nowadays,
because she would have been 29.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, if you have a child when you're 30 now, people go, oh, 30?
Yeah, that's a what do they call it? Risk
It's
pregnancy.
Yeah. Well, at 34, they class it a geriatric pregnancy.
What does that mean?
Basically that you're old and decrepit. Makes you feel great when you're sitting there in the hospital and
Fantastic.
they're like, geriatric.
Right.
So I couldn't...
Sorry, English is my second language.
So fortunately, I couldn't find anything else about Gottfried after this event, so I'm assuming he went on to live the rest of his life behaving. He did die at the age of 74 in 1900, and we'll post a photo of
1900?
himself. 1900, yep, not 1800.
Oh, so all this is happening in 18.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yep. So he was born in 1826 and died in 1900.
So I thought you were saying it was happening in the 19... No, that's not right.
No.
No, maybe you did say it. No, never mind.
He's actually buried at Bethany Cemetery.
Oh, really?
In the German settlers' cemetery out there. So
do you reckon people trashed his grave?
No, probably not. It's probably a story that disappeared really quickly.
Yeah.
Because I had to really, really hunt for information on it.
Yeah.
So, what's your opinion, Marianne Wressel? Witch or a victim of a desperate superstitious violent man?
You know what? I feel like if someone is a witch, they wouldn't get caught as a witch.
I agree.
Unless they wanted to.
I think a lot of witches have more intent to do good than to do harm.
And because what benefit would it have made for her that the next door neighbour's cattle died?
Exactly. Yeah. So I think it was just shitty land, shitty time of year, and he didn't know how to deal with it because he wasn't familiar with Australia.
Yeah. Or he was just a CEO. No, I'm not going to say that. Or he was just
a country farmer.
He was just a country neighbour. And they didn't get along.
Yeah.
Maybe she did hex his cattle because she wanted him gone.
Yeah. Yeah, who knows?
Jesus.
But to think that he would commit something like that and then go on to not do anything else. Like,
I feel like it would have been, the farm was going down.
Yeah.
It was like a panic.
Yep.
Send your mum over. You know what? His wife was probably like, she's a good-looking neighbour. So she's like his ear. Like,
nothing wrong with the cats. She hexed them. She's a witch.
She's probably one of those really religious, I don't know why I was like, really religious churchy wives. That was probably like, the neighbour's a witch.
Yep. She probably caught...
Get rid of her.
She probably caught Mr.
Your wandering eyes.
Yep. Having a little nosy over there while she
You know what? That's probably
maybe she exposed her ankle to him.
You know what? In that time.
Yeah. And then Mrs. Hoffman was like, right.
While she was
that
gardening.
witch having her ankles all out on show while she's working in the veggie garden.
Oh my God. How dare she? That was probably it.
Yep.
I 100% believe that.
Yep. I do wonder, though, if she did actually go to the Hoffman's farm with the stick.
Do you know what? I reckon that the child went there to get butter.
Yeah.
And then they were assholes to her.
Yeah.
But they did give her the butter, but they were probably really rude to her.
Yeah.
So she's gone home and been like... They probably didn't invite her over. But they probably...
Yeah, well, maybe they were even just rude to the kid, and then she's over and was like, there. Don't be rude to my child.
Like, how dare you say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows? Because there's a lot of talk about sticks.
Yeah, where are all these sticks coming from?
That's it. And when the brother says she attended with the stick, it kind of does make sense.
Yeah.
That she could have maybe gone there aggressively, had the stick, her and the wife did get into it.
Yeah.
And then Gottfried's come out to defend his wife.
And it's probably like bits of like the broom, like the one was probably like...
She would have had a broomstick because she's a bloody witch.
Yeah. You know what? They were both broomsticks.
Yep, they were both witches.
That's
Plot
what
twist.
he was trying to say. Oh, wow.
But yeah, so that was the one of my Barossa witchy stories.
Barossa witch, I guess that is a witch trial because they went to trial with it.
Yep. Yeah, and the defense
done for
was
5 years hard labour.
Yep. Thanks for the railroads, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, let us know. We'll post that photo of that we talked about earlier.
Yep.
On our Instagram. Let us know what you think of the photo because it is creepy.
Absolutely.
Have a shot.
Have
guys.
a shot.
Now that we're done, you can go get wasted.
Absolutely.
It was fresh on your
I
lips.
need one of those like dog shock collars that goes off every time I say absolutely. Easy. Well, thanks for listening.
See you guys next time.
Bye.